One house, one decision, and suddenly the quiet lawns of Windsor have become the stage for a story that could define the monarchy's future. The Prince and Princess of Wales have chosen to leave Adelaide Cottage, their modest 4-bedroom home, and move their family into Forest Lodge, an 8-bedroom residence hidden deep within Windsor Great Park. At first glance, it might seem like nothing more than a real estate upgrade, a young family needing more room as their children grow. But in truth, this decision is loaded with symbolism, strategy, and hidden meaning. For Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and little Louis, this house could become the place where their identities are forged, their roles are shaped, and the bitter lessons of past royal spares are either repeated or avoided forever. When Kensington Palace released the quiet statement, "The Wales family will move house later this year," it sounded almost ordinary. But the move is anything but. Forest Lodge is not just a residence, it's a statement. A place that whispers of permanence, of a family settling their roots not in London's palatial corridors, but in the quieter, greener landscape of Windsor. Danielle Stacey, Hello's royal correspondent, called it their forever home. And that phrase, forever home, rings with resonance when spoken about the future king and queen of England. Why? Because homes tell stories. Adelaide Cottage, charming as it was always seen as a stepping stone, a temporary nest while the children adjusted to Lambrook School, just 10 minutes away. It was snug, practical, close to Windsor Castle, but it was never meant to carry the weight of history. Forest Lodge, however, already carries it in its walls. Grade 2 listed, restored with meticulous detail, marble fireplaces, Venetian windows, and a vaulted hallway ceiling that speaks of grandeur. It is a house that once cost £1.5 million to restore, a house that has waited for a family whose story demands both privacy and prominence. And for William and Kate, privacy and prominence are two forces they must balance every single day. The 3 children, George, 12, Charlotte, 10, Louis, 7, are growing fast. George, the heir, already stands in the shadow of history. Every step he takes, every photograph, every smile at Trooping the Color is read as a sign of the future monarch. But Charlotte and Louis? They are growing into roles less clearly defined. And here lies the danger. Royal history has shown again and again how the spare can become a source of turmoil. Prince Andrew and Prince Harry are the living proof. Andrew, once the favorite son, spiraled into scandal and exile. Harry, once the cheeky, beloved younger prince, turned his resentment into a public war against the very institution that raised him. Royal experts on the Palace Confidential podcast said it outright. Andrew and Harry should both stand as a warning to Prince William and Catherine that how you treat that spare is very difficult. A chilling thought, and one that hangs over Forest Lodge like a shadow. Because within its 8 bedrooms, William and Kate will try to engineer something that history has rarely managed: balance. How do you raise one child for a crown and 2 others for meaningful lives without bitterness, jealousy, or resentment? How do you prevent Charlotte or Louis from repeating the bitterness of Harry, the entitlement of Andrew? The answer, perhaps, lies in why this move matters so much. Windsor is not just about space, it is about environment. At Lambrook School, the children mix with peers who are not royal, not aristocrats by default, but bright and ambitious. In Windsor, the family can cycle together, walk their dog, slip into Frogmore Gardens unseen. These moments of normality are strategic. William and Kate want their children to breathe fresh air, not the stifling atmosphere of Kensington Palace. They want them to see their childhood not through the bars of gilded cages, but in the freedom of green fields. Yet no decision comes without risks. By rejecting Kensington as their main home, William and Kate also reject the London life that previous heirs once embraced. Kensington Palace, with its 20 rooms and half a wing belonging once to Princess Margaret, is still theirs, but it is no longer home. Anmer Hall in Norfolk, with its 10 bedrooms and country peace, remains their retreat. Adelaide Cottage will soon be their past, Forest Lodge will become their present, and their legacy. But Forest Lodge is not an easy choice. Its history is complex. It has been rented before, placed on the market for £15,000 a month, its walls echoing with the footsteps of temporary tenants. To turn it into the home of a future king requires more than just renovations. It requires transformation, architectural and symbolic. The planning applications lodged in June with the local council document minor internal and external changes, but insiders whisper of deeper alterations, creating family spaces that feel warm yet secure, children's bedrooms that are theirs alone, not just ceremonial chambers. Reports insist William will pay for the property and all renovations himself. A clear message: no taxpayers' money, no headlines accusing them of indulgence. A future king must show restraint. No live-in staff either. Another bold decision. William and Kate will continue their experiment of being as normal as possible, doing school runs themselves, keeping their household intimate. But normality is never truly possible in Windsor. For just a short walk away, the towers of Windsor Castle loom, the reminder of crown and duty. The Queen spent her final years there. King Charles often retreats there still. Every move in Forest Lodge will carry echoes of history. And that is what makes this move so fascinating. It is not only about the present comfort of a young family. It is about rewriting the Windsor narrative, because in the background, the monarchy itself is strained. Charles's reign is marked by illness, by questions of longevity. Harry's memoir, Spare, still stings. Andrew's scandals still haunt. Public opinion swings wildly as polls show William and Kate at the top, admired by over 70% of the nation, while Charles hovers lower, his approval fragile. The future of the monarchy increasingly rests not on the king, but on the Wales family, and every choice they make, even where they sleep at night, becomes part of that story. Forest Lodge, then, is more than a house. It is a fortress of strategy, a place where William and Kate can shield George, Charlotte, and Louis while preparing them for futures both dazzling and dangerous. For George, it will be the house where he takes his first steps into kingship, not as a distant prince, but as a boy raised close to ordinary life. For Charlotte, it may be the house that allows her to carve out a role of strength, perhaps echoing the resilience of Princess Anne. For Louis, the youngest, it may be the home that saves him from the bitterness that consumed Harry. And yet, history will not make it easy. The winner-takes-all structure of monarchy, one heir, the rest supporters, is a system that breeds envy. The Waleses are trying to fight centuries of pattern with parenting choices, school runs, and the walls of a Windsor house. Will it be enough? Every stone in Forest Lodge will witness this experiment. Every marble fireplace, every Venetian window, every ceiling cornice restored from 1831 will become the backdrop of a royal childhood that carries the weight of a nation's hopes. In the years to come, when George ascends the throne, people may look back and say, "It began here." Not in Kensington's grand apartment, not in Onmer's secluded hall, not in Adelaide's quaint cottage, but in Forest Lodge, the house that was chosen as a forever home. And that is why this move matters so much. Because within the walls of Forest Lodge, William and Kate are not just raising their children. They are raising the monarchy's future.